My mom's experience with the duende. She was a child in Nicaragua when this happened. I don't know the exact age, but she was young. She was using the bathroom and it was sort of a public bathroom. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but it was a different time, so I'm not sure how their village's public bathroom worked. But she said she was using the bathroom, and suddenly in the stall next to her, little feet appeared. They were peeking out from under the stall, and the rest of the body was cut off because of the wall, but she could tell it was very small. I know it may sound dumb, but she described the shoes and feet as like little leprechaun feet, little brown shoes, small feet, and short legs. She said it started talking to her and calling her name. It, knowing her name, had already freaked her out first of all. But that wasn't that bad until it started laughing and saying stuff about her and her family that only she would know. Then it started asking her to follow it, and at that point she realized it was probably malicious and trying to hurt her or do something bad. She did not stay to find out though. She said she ran out of that bathroom and didn't look back. It was still cackling, laughing as she ran out too. She went and told the people who at the time were taking care of her, and they said they knew what it was and to just ignore it or stay away. Anytime my mom tells this story, I can tell she is very scared when recounting it. She actually gets kind of mad at me when I ask her to tell me the story because she hates thinking about it. Anybody have any other adventure stories? I'm curious, they seem to be very common in Spanish and some Asian cultures. Kidnapped by duendes. My grandma used to tell me one of her little brothers was always kidnapped by duendes. She said she never saw them, but her brother often spoke of them and how naked little kids were always calling and waving at him, asking to join them. Eventually, some other adults got involved and told my grandmother's great grandma to make the boy poop in the middle of the front yard, which is where he allegedly always saw them. Apparently, duendes love cleanliness and are easily disgusted. And it worked because he never saw them again. I'm from Panama, by the way, and my grandmother used to live in Darien, where her family has big thinker. This would have happened in the late 30s. Anyway, when I was in elementary school, my school was in the middle of this, I don't know how to say it, but it was a decent neighborhood, except behind it there was a stream and a fair amount of flora and fauna. A small woods, if you will. I swear I saw them playing near the stream naked. I never saw them call to me at all, but I do remember distinctly seeing them several times in a space of a week. My parents told me I was just seeing things, but I think my friends saw them too. Because I remember we would all avoid going to the area where you could see through the gate to where the stream was. And I got goosebumps typing this all out. Hadn't thought about this in ages. I am now 32. My grandma told me this story about Chanekes. Her mom, my great grandmother, and her brother used to go to the river to do the laundry. She used to leave the boy on a hammock while she was busy. One day, the boy began to walk into the sugarcane plantations that were next to the river. When his mom realized and dragged him out, he was saying that some kids were offering him papaya. She told him that they were alone there and there was no one else nearby. She put him on the hammock and continued doing the laundry, but the boy kept going into the cane plantation. This situation repeated many times, but the last time she realized the boy was not there, she ran into the plantation and found him. She scolded him and he was swearing again that some kids were offering him papaya. When she looked up, she could see the canes moving like if three people running between them. She got scared and then left suddenly. Days after, talking with other people, they told her that those kids could have been Chanekes that were trying to steal her kid so she never brought him back to the river. Some days when she was there alone, someone would throw her pebbles while she was distracted. My dad was followed home by duendes. My dad told me a story recently that I've been really wanting to share. This is from back when he was a kid in Mexico. When my dad was a kid, he and my grandpa went to my grandpa's land to prepare the soil for planting crops. Bored, my dad wandered off to a nearby stream where he saw a bunch of human like dolls playing around in the water. He said they looked like adults, only smaller, with proportions like dolls. Not sure what exactly that meant. They splashed around in the water, and at times it looked like they were even walking on it. They signaled at him to come and play with them, and my dad ran over excitedly. He said he played with them for a while, when my grandpa noticed that he had wandered off and went to find him. When my grandpa found my dad seemingly playing alone by the stream, getting all wet, he got super mad and dragged him away. Apparently, my grandpa and grandma were never able to see the duendes whenever my dad would point them out. My dad still recalls looking back while my grandpa yanked him away and seeing the duendes waving goodbye at him. After that, my dad started seeing the duendes around the house. They'd pop out from behind walls during dinner, and my dad would try to feed them scraps of food, much to my grandparents' annoyance. Eventually, they got worried and took him to a local curandera. She did a little ritual and told him to keep a cigarette behind his ear for a week. And then the duendes were gone. He never saw them again. My dad swears it's all true, even though no one believes him and he's embarrassed about even telling the story. The only reason he told me it was because my mom teased him about it the other day and I forced it out of him. I like these kinds of stories and really wanted to share. If you have any duende stories, please share. I'd love to hear them. My aunts and uncles say duendes aren't always so friendly and told me some other creepy stories about them.